All right. Looks like we're live. Okay. We are live on YouTube. So let's go, Zoom and YouTube. Thank you for being on with me live. I've got the chat open, so throw me your questions as we get through this masterclass. Welcome to another present and profitable masterclass. Today, we're talking about how to quantum leap your business. And I will just put out a disclaimer. If you think you cannot, uh, I guess, move faster in your business based on what you've got going right now in your world, in your life as a mom, in your crazy, busy, hectic life. Uh, I have news for you. You can. Okay. And we're going to talk about that today because did you know that using the power of your mind can get you ahead in life so much faster than neglecting it, than not using it, than denying it? The fact that your thoughts create things. So we'll talk about it today. We'll dive in. And I just want to let you know, you're in the right place if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a mom, if you're both, if you're juggling parenting and business, right? Ownership of something, you have a desire in your heart to do both very well. Be very present, patient parent, and also at the same time be profitable, prosperous, productive in business. I mean, name all the P's. What feels good to you, right? Propelling your future forward. All is possible, right? You can do both at the same time, and I'm going to show you how. You are in the right place if your desire is to juggle both, right? Do both well, with ease, with less burnout, with less mom guilt, with less feeling like you're tugged in two different directions, with less feeling scatterbrained, right? Like this has got to happen today, and there's all this stuff happening in my business, and then also at the same time blowing up with my kids, right? That I have to tend to. That was really unpredictable, because we know motherhood is unpredictable. We know that we really, you know, can't set our watch on everything happening exactly the same way every single time. And it's with that unpredictability that the chaos ensues, right? That chaos ensues for you both personally and professionally. If you don't have systems in place to help you manage those things, to help you ease the funky nature of the roller coaster, right, of it all. I want to let you know that you can find time to do your creative work, to do your deepest work, to be fulfilled on every level as both mom and entrepreneur. Okay. And I'm going to show you how. And in the hope for these master classes, my hope for these master classes, the goal for these master classes is really to give you the tips, tricks, tools that you can implement immediately, right? Before this hour is over, you've got something to walk away from that you can easily implement. You get it, it's understandable, it's digestible, and it's implementable within seconds of you hearing the information. So my job is to make sure that everything complex is super simple by the end of our time together. So if you have any questions and you're just kind of still confused, throw them in the chat and I'll get to them. Okay. I want you to walk away with that level of value. Um, but the thing is I think ultimately, as we just move forward in this topic of quantum leaping your business, I think what we maybe are uh, highlighting here with that desire is a fear that we're wasting time, that this business we pursue isn't going to deliver the goods, isn't going to skyrocket our future into the levels that we want to be at, right? That we want to afford our families, so that we want to build, right? This level of legacy that our kids can, I really just be better off because we did this thing, right? We want to feel like that our businesses can be successful, that nothing will fall apart around you as a result of you putting in focused, deliberate work in your business. Nothing will fall apart, or you won't lose your family, right? That your business won't take you away from your family. I think we want to know that when we pursue something, that it's for the good of all involved, that we're not going to leave our family behind, that we're not going to grow bigger and better and just look at these, peons down below us, and then we're just too good for this. And so I'm going to leave the thing that I love behind. It's not going to happen. If anything, the more present you are to what matters most in your life, what's most important to you in this iteration of your life, you are always going to see that. You're always going to see what's most important. And at any level, that might change. But the people that you want to accompany you with, are always there if you include them in your design, right? You're predicting your future right now. So we're using our thoughts to create things, to create a life, to create an existence that we, on our deathbed, look back on and say, wow, I did it all. I left nothing on the table. I went all in and I gave it my all and I experienced life to the fullest. I feel so fulfilled, so just rich inside and out. And, I've got this family to show for it. And the people surrounding you, right, as you lay there ready to go back to heaven, you are, surrounded by all that love. So let's imagine you see that for yourself. If you can see that for yourself, I have a question for you. Do you believe that it's possible if you can see that it in your mind, right? If you can close your eyes right now, picture yourself on your deathbed surrounded by people who love you, know you and love you, right? Still. And they've been through, maybe they weathered a few storms with you in your friendship and your relationship together, but they're there, right? Because you wanted them there. You can see them in your mind's eye that they're there. Do you believe that because you can see it, you can have it? Because you see it in your mind's eye when you close your eyes, that it is actually a reality that can exist one day? Okay, if the answer is yes, you're in the right place. If the answer is no, throw me a chat. Let's get that figured out, that confusion there. Because if you can see it, you can have it, right? It is yours. If you can see it, in fact, you already have it. Many quantum physicists and authors will talk about how because we can see, because we've got this imagination as our tool, right? It's at the ready. We can see things into fruition. If we just put our mind on it, we see it and we imagine it, we create it, we visualize it, then we can have it. It can actually come to pass. We can actually experience it in our 3D world, not just in our mind. We can actually have it show up in this physical plane that we call Earth, walking and talking, right? It's going to be there. Living, being part of your experience, because you first put it in your mind. So your business can be successful if you only just think about it being successful. And that little thing, that simplest action to take every day is something worth doing, right? If you believe it, right? If you believe that what you see you can achieve, what you see you can have, if you hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand, like Bob Proctor says. If you believe that, then you're in the right place. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how to use your mind to make that a reality for you. So how to get the most after this masterclass? I would just say if you are here ready to quantum leap your business, launch your business, scale your business, start your business, pivot in your business, whatever it looks like for you, where you are right now, sit with kind of the state you're in right now. Okay. If you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling like you're juggling too much, too many plates, right, are in the air, and you're just like, man, everything is just not going my way. It's unpredictable, like we talked about, because it is. And I can't catch a break. I'm trying to think of all the things that I've heard before. If I'm succeeding at one, I'm failing at the other. And this is both business and babies, right? Our babies, no matter the age, our babies. Our business is also our baby, right? It's something that we've put into the world. It's something that we create or we want to create, right? We have this image, this vision for this this creative pursuit, this creative effort, and we want to build it and put it out there. And if you build it, they will come. And you see people having transactions with you, right? Exchanges with you. They give you money, you give them value, you give them a resource, you deliver on a product or service. So that's what we're seeing, right? That's what we're seeing in the giving and the receiving of our business. This kind of way that we're going to do our work in the world, right? That thing, that calling on your heart, that purpose, right? That bubbles up in your belly and you're like, oh, I've got to do this. If you're sitting with that, but you're just like, how do I find the time? Then just sit with that state. Okay. Even journal about it as you're listening. If you're jotting down notes for during this masterclass, just jot that down really fast. Because what we want to do is like recognize the state that we're in, not deny it, but recognize it and see that, what can we dig up here that will definitely have us, moving to the next level from this place right now. We don't want to ignore it or deny it that it exists, that we are living in this existence, kind of how we might have set ourselves up to be, right? Did you get yourself into a predicament? Does it feel like, oh man, why do I always create this mess for myself? You know, why do I keep recreating the same reality? Why am I in this cycle again? Why am I dating the same person over and over? Why am I having the same fights with my son every single day? Why do I attract these types of clients and they're not even ideal clients, or why do I get on calls with people who can't pay my prices, right? Why am I putting out so much effort and getting nothing in return? So sit with anything that's resonating, right? If you heard something that you're like, yeah, I say that. That's kind of like the soundtrack in my head, jot it down. Okay. And then if you have a mom friend or anybody who this might resonate with, and you're also like, oh man, they're feeling it too, share it with all the mom groups you can think of. Just because if they've got a question, I'd love to answer it live. So it'd be great if they were on live. If they're catching the replay, also good, because I'll get to the comments. Okay. So share this with anyone who it might resonate with. And then let's first, before we keep going, big breath in, ground down, right? Feet on the floor, ground into your body too. Not only into the earth, but like connect with the source from within, the divine that flows within your bones, within your blood. It's like flowing. Um, just tap into that, right? And oxygenate it with every breath in and out. Oxygenate it and think about like purifying it and cleansing it, right? Cleansing from within. And then breathing out the waste. It's all this minimalist idea, right? Of breathing in kind of the freshness, the purity, the cleanliness, the order, and then breathing out all the confusion, the tension, the anxiety, the ways we hold ourselves back, the limiting beliefs, the scarcity mindsets. We're letting all that go, right? Just breathing in and out. Okay. So today we're talking about quantum leaping your business. And as I'm going through this in my mind and I'm like walking through it myself, right? Because I'm also an entrepreneur mom. If this is the first time we're meeting, hi, I'm Yvette the Declutterist. I like to call myself your less is more coach, but really I'm a clarity, mindset, and business coach. I mean, all three, right? It's mindset, business, and all the above. Anything that gives you 360-degree clarity on your life, which includes all aspects of your life, then really, I'm here for it, right? I want to help you find the clarity through it. I want to coach you through the clutter and to the beautiful, blissful, abundant life that you dream of. Okay. So that's where we're at. That's me, and that's where I'm coming from as we are on this masterclass, as I sit with you today. I want to like come as mother, right? I also want to come as entrepreneur. I want to come as coach, a mentor, guide, so that you can get what you need. And this is really how I treat anything I do. In the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms, that's currently how you can work with me one-on-one, have more time with me, real-time accountability from me, so that you are taking big quantum leaps in your business, because it really does, you know, demand of you all that, right? This kind of the attention that it will require, the energy that it will require, both motherhood and business, the walking into the unknown, right? Eyes wide open, all that it will demand of you, right? All that you've seen so far that life, this version of it as you currently are experiencing it demands of you, you as mother, you as entrepreneur, you as still maybe 9 to 5, or as you try to exit that maybe corporate gig and move into your own thing. Um, this is, we're kind of all doing the same thing. I quit my job several years ago. Let's not even math that. Several years ago, I left my corporate life in search of like making my business grow. When I left college, I was kind of doing both, having my business on the side and having my 9 to 5 job. And then I just was like, and this was me as single something. It was still a heavy lift. And then, especially as mother, since becoming, a mom 6 years ago and having my business, still, trying to keep that going while being a new mom. And then a mom of two under two. it was a lot. And I recognized, what had to give, what wasn't working. So same kind of thing, right? It's I think on in any level, what are we juggling? And are we juggling only the things that we want to juggle? And does this juggle have to be a struggle? Does it have to feel like a struggle? I think we're going to, yeah, have a few plates in the air, sure, because we're ambitious women and we want that, right? We want to experience life and be social and also study and be deeply inquisitive. And we also want to like be present with our kids and enjoy fond memories and create core memories and travel and do fun things and experience the richness of this life. That's a lot, right? And then Johnny's homesick today. And then what does that do to all the ambition, right? All that you had on your schedule today. What did that do to your agenda, right? And how does that make you feel? Right? There's so much, there's such a depth, right? Like a deeper side of business. When you look at it as what it entails, it's not just you opening up shop and opening the door and hoping a customer walks in. It's so much more. And mindset is how we master the evolution of emotions, right? As they come and they go through it all. And what I want for you is to not be a stressed out entrepreneur with your kids. And I definitely don't want you to be a stressed out mom with your clients, right? Because we want to serve the world in the best way. We want to give our best into the world. So that's what's magnified. And when you put out your best, then your business can prosper, right? You're putting out good quality things. And I want more good quality things in commerce, right? Let's make capitalism be something maybe wholesome. Who knows, right? There's definitely wholesome products for sale. So as much as you can put that, right, that authenticity, that purity, right, into what you do, that honesty, that integrity, then wow, what are you magnetizing into the world to back to yourself? But then also, what are you magnifying into the world? What are you making bigger? Because you're doing the work that you want to do. What are you edifying as far as characteristics and what are you modeling? How are you behaving? Who's watching you? Your kids are, your clients as well, right? They're seeing you show up and putting something out for sale and they're saying yes or no to it. Your kids also, right? It's like, how are you showing up? If you tell them what to do, is it like do as I say, not do as I do? I mean, is that contradictory? Are we raising good, strong, independent humans that way? Or are they confused and like, well, which one is it? I don't get it. Because when I think back to, what I was taught as a kid, I don't know that I was instilled. I guess what was instilled in me is faith, right? This idea of faith. So I can come back to that every single time, which I love and am very appreciative of because as we manifest in Quantum Leap and go through our lives and live this limitless life, we are going to be met with challenges, things that make us fear for our lives, things that make us doubt ourselves, maybe not trust ourselves. But if we've got faith in God, that okay, I'm not alone in this, it feels so much better, right? And that is absolutely what's required of us to have faith when we're manifesting, when we're um, designing our life, developing ideas in business, and really doing the work that will attract the compensation, right? And sustainable compensation, almost predictable compensation, because you know that by doing this, I'm going to get this, right? It's kind of I know the exchange because I dreamt this up, right? I know the exchange because this is what I dreamed it would look like and feel like and be like. I put in work right now. In everything that I do on my schedule, in my agenda, there's always time to imagine and visualize and be with my vision for my life, right? So I see my kids thriving. I see me thriving. I see my clients thriving. I see us all together on a retreat. I see us traveling on vacation. I see us going to soccer games and things like that, right? And they're scoring and they're my sons are happy and they're, thriving and they're good sports. So even when they lose, they know that there's something there that they walked away with, right? This is character building stuff, right? I'm not neglecting that in my vision. It's absolutely, it comes with me. And so right now, this, and actually forever, I would never remove this from your agenda, your calendar, your schedule for the day. Always include time to dream big, dream your life up. Because as you're dreaming it, you're designing it and you're co-creating with God. And so if you've got faith that God's got this and no problem is bigger than God, and if God is for you, who can be against you, then you've got faith, right, to pull you through. And then, because I think the hardest part, like what we talked about before, is staying faithful, staying in trust, or staying, how am I trying to say this? Like staying, trusting yourself. Um, that your vision will come to pass, right? That how you're designing this life will actually happen, that this business can be successful, that all this time that you're putting in isn't for naught. It's not for nothing. You are, yeah, if you've got to pull time from the kids, instead of feeling guilty, feel productive, feel like, man, this is exactly the thing I needed to do. The fewer things I needed to do, not more, but the fewest things that I needed to do to make sure that life and business is going and everything is cool. And I can predict my success. I can predict the check coming to me every month, kind of a thing, right? You want to know that all this energy that you're putting out is worth it. And I think a lot of times, us as moms, sometimes the immediate feedback is just from our kids. And so we tend to lean more into motherhood and neglect maybe our ambition, maybe our creative pursuits and the things that we want to do, independent of our home life. We want to go out there and chase our dreams in a different way, right? Not only at home. It can feel like motherhood is calling you and pulling you and tugging you more than business is. And the immediate feedback is like a tantrum or a breakdown or a meltdown, or I can't go on this trip, or I can't take Johnny to school because he's homesick. So all of this stuff really calls to you and it pulls to you. That is, that's going to feel scattered. That's going to feel like you're just barely surviving, and it's hectic and stressful. But there is even a way to mitigate all of that stress. There is even a way in your home life where it feels so chaotic. There is even a way to lessen and reduce and minimize the hustle there. And then also, it's like if I'm leaning over here more to mom life, and this is coming from me as a homeschooling entrepreneur mom. So not only am I a mom and an entrepreneur, but I'm also homeschooling my son. So things are, and I'm a full-time business owner. So I'm running a business and a household at the same time, right? So I've got a lot going on. So this is coming from me, recognizing that both can feel very chaotic, home and business, but they don't have to stay chaotic. You can recognize the chaos and fix it immediately. You can come in with the calm, easy voice. You could be that teacher that like gets the class's attention because she whispers in the front of the class and everybody's like, whoa, what is that? What's so low against my volume? Because now I'm tuning out all the high noises, everybody's screaming. But what I do hear is the teacher whispering. And now everybody's called to that because it's different, right? It's kind of like you need to be present. The teacher needs to be present with her classroom or his classroom because, you know, they're recognizing, okay, I got to manage my classroom. I got to pull everybody back to the task at hand. We have an assignment. We're working on this, right? And what's the best way to do that is to kind of break the pattern, interrupt what's going on. And so, in a way, we can recognize the chaos and we need a pattern interrupt. We need somebody to snap their fingers. We need to be who comes in and says, "Hey, let's take a breath here." Because right now you're churning on this hamster wheel and you are repeating a cycle of going down uh, the same path of chaos, where chaos just breeds chaos. And then, of course, who feels like they can do anything really well in chaos? And I know there are people who say, I do better in chaos. I do better when it's crazy and manic. And I think a lot of that has to do with their upbringing. what they were shown, what they were modeled, and it really is telling of how we are treating our kids today and what we are modeling for our kids today. If all they have is this manic, crazy household, if we're not inviting in silence, if we're not sitting um, quietly together as a family reading books, then that's going to feel foreign. If we're not also enjoying a movie, laughing together, and watching the same exact movie, not somebody over here scrolling Instagram while the kids watch, Moana, but you're actually all watching Moana, laughing at the same time, eating popcorn, right? Sharing from the same bowl, turning to each other and say, "Did you see that?" And letting the kids tell you what they just saw, and oh my gosh, how cool, mom, right? That, those core memories we're talking, like being present with that. Like if we're not giving them those experiences, then it's foreign. If we're not giving them experiences of a slow morning, a slow rise to the day, uh, and we're just maybe we're setting it for ourselves, we're waking up early, right? Extra early to make sure we've got our hours of just, I got to journal, I got to sit outside, take a fresh air, right? The ultimate morning ritual, tea, right? Just blissing out and getting dressed and taking a slow shower, right? We wake up early, but then are we waking our kids up early to experience the same kind of slow start to the day? Because just because, they might just be kids doesn't mean they don't necessarily need it or benefit from the exposure to the lesson of slowing down right before you speed up. And if we need it, why wouldn't they? And so, what I love to give my kids, personally me, is that I love to wake them up a little bit earlier. And then that way, I mean, yeah, a little bit earlier, not crazy early, but a little bit earlier. And I slowly turn up the light. It's on a dimmer switch, so I slowly turn up the light. I'll sing a song, I'll open the blinds, then I'll walk out and do my thing, right? I'll keep going. I come back in, they're still in bed. Then, I start to turn up the dial higher on the light. I start talking about what we got planned for the day and pulling clothes out or asking questions, getting them to kind of engage with me. And then that slowly pulls them up, right? Nothing was too harsh. Nothing was like super jarring from like, oh, oh man, this feels hectic, mom, and you expect me to listen to you and follow your rules? Like I am not even awake yet. But what we demand on a nervous system, right? A little body from our little people that we're setting them up for failure, right? To feel like failures because we're not considering maybe how their mind enters the day, how their body enters the day. And then the more they're involved in telling you what works for them, like my son's like, turn the light off. Maybe I turn it down maybe a little bit, like we compromise there, right? And then I come back and I turn it up. But the more they're involved in kind of telling you, well, what does the morning ritual look like for them? It's probably um I don't know, can it all day, every day be the same? Probably not. I told my son today, not every homeschool day is going to look the same because I started asking him, what do you want? Do you want every day to look the same or do you want every day to look different? Because as it stands and as it stood last year when we started homeschooling and this new year ahead of us, I don't see how it can always be the same, but I could see how we could establish maybe the same routine on the different days. So Monday looks like this, Tuesday looks like this, Wednesday looks like this. And I could talk to him about that and we could start to build that because there's no way with mom also running a business and she's taking clients. I've got my non-negotiables in where you've got to be set up with something. You're going to be working alongside mom, and this is going to look a little different, right? So I'm like, it can't be the same every day. I know. I think that's the value of going to school. If that's what you're into and you like that type of structure, that system, and that support, where it's like we start with this, we move to that, we move to that. Then those kind of institutionalized environments could maybe serve you better. Um, and they don't know what they're asking for. So still, right, we're still going to stay homeschooling, but we're going to try to instill some type of a structure. And I want him involved because I want him to be a part of it because it's definitely an easier, lighter lift when he's involved on the brainstorming right behind it. And then we ultimately finalize. And we always have kind of this breakfast, this major arc right in the day where it's like the breakfast, he knows when it is, lunch, he knows what it is, dinner, right? And so we just kind of everything kind of revolves around that. I think it's easy with kids that revolve your day around food. They got to know when they're going to have their next meal. We take it for granted as adults, and so much so as moms. I think we even skip meals. We aren't eating. We're not sitting down to have a proper meal. We are thinking of ourselves last, right? We're definitely on the back burner. But again, systems, structure, intention for the day, all that can be laid out a little bit easier. And I think also we had a comment a couple weeks ago on the masterclass where somebody was saying, "Oh, I love to set a timer." And I absolutely agree with that. That's something I teach all the time, where I like to time myself because um, when you are juggling quite a few things in the day, then you want to be able to set a timer and have that timer go off to alert you to, oh, is this particular activity, this particular task that you've busied yourself with and fully occupied yourself with doing, is this still, does this still need to go on? Do you still need to be working on drafting this email or can you press send? Good is good enough, right? Um, and I think the timer reminds us that unless we are kind of sticking to what we had set out to do at the start of the day, our intention was very clear, right? When first thing in the morning, we're saying our intention, or maybe last thing before we closed out our day yesterday, we kind of thought about the next day. And so there's some thoughtful intention behind it. Think about in the moment, you're letting something run longer than you had planned. Everything else does get bumped off, right? Everything else does get either pushed aside, neglected, canceled on, right? So us attuning to our time, our schedule, kind of our awarenesses of ourselves and what we typically do and how we might want to run on the hamster wheel. And this takes us down the rabbit hole. We don't want to let those kinds of cycles continue if they're not serving us. Granted, there are days when I just kind of let myself riff and move from thing to thing, but it's not when I have my kids. It's definitely on daddy's weekend or something like that, or I know they're doing something else, right? They're completely occupied from this time to this time. And I know within these hours, I can freely move and flow and ebb and do all the things as I'd like. And I don't necessarily set a timer then, but I will tell you this, I set a timer 9 times out of 10 because a timer is just something that I love. It's a gentle reminder for me because yes, I can snooze it. Yes, I can keep going. It's my choice. But it's just a gentle reminder that hey, just wanted to alert you 20 minutes has gone by, and then I immediately flash back. Okay, what did I do? Okay, great. What did I need to do? And all in an instant because I'm organized and I'm structured. I've got my systems. I have my intention set. I know what's going to feel good if at the end of the day I accomplish it. So this is what it means to have meaningful productivity involved and not just be productive doing anything and everything. Because yeah, you could be productive on building your website, but is that the thing you need to be doing right now in your business? Is it? um, you're going to know deep down inside. And if something like fear is what's spurring that desire, spurring that energy, um, that command to work on this, then you know, that is you operating in fear. So then you're just creating a business that's going to still continue to operate in fear because you're manning the jets around fear instead of manning the jets around trust and abundance and faith and joy and doing all the things that light you up. That those are actually jets that fuel the engine too. So what are you feeding, right? You want to make sure that you're constantly feeding the things that you want to grow, not the things that you don't want to grow. So the thing with building a business in fear or rooted in fear or uh, based on fear, right? Built around fear. If every day in your business you are just desperate for the next client, the next person to, swipe their card, then do you want to keep doing that? If not, then there's a shift to make, a shift away from that belief that this is the only thing that fuels my business, is waiting for that next person. And then you'll do anything and everything clamoring to try to have the person charge their card. So that's marketing, that's social media, that's making the funny trending video, that is, being in all the networking groups because you're hoping to catch this one person who you might convert. And that kind of scrambling. is for me manic. I can't imagine. It's not sustainable. I wouldn't do that. So what I'm actively doing and seeing pay off and why I'm able to quantum leap my business since, starting years ago. And it's taken different, I pivoted quite a bit. I definitely pivoted after kids. And so if you've known me before I had kids, because the declutterist has been around a while, I'm still clarity coaching. I'm still right doing those things, but in a different way. And I'm definitely serving my mom audience right now. So yeah, I've pivoted, right? And so I've niched. And when you niche and you get super crystal clear on who you want to serve in this season of your life right now, in this moment, right? Then you can really eliminate a lot of wasted time and energy and money and, because you're focused, like exactly what to work on right now. And so that feels good, right? That lightens the load for me. Everything's much more manageable. So, I've definitely like, pivoted into that direction. So everything that I put my effort and attention on is what's quantum leaping my business, me growing yet again, like after pivoting. It's kind of like when you pivot, you kind of start over. Or at least it feels that way. You don't. It's not starting over. But when you pivot, it sometimes feels like, am I starting from scratch? Especially when maybe maybe if you leave your job and start a business, it does feel like you're starting from scratch because you don't have the paycheck, or it feels a little scary, like, oh, I'm leaving something and starting something new that's not like a steady paycheck yet. Uh, I think there's like that's a pivot too, right? So with that pivot in in your lifestyle, in your day to day, also needs to come a pivot in your mindset, in the way that you believe about a thing. And you believe that this business is going to skyrocket, it's going to soar because you're able to put in the full hours, right? Of your day, maybe. Like you feel, was that the justification, right? To leave your business because you could put all your time and effort into this one thing? Sure. Then your mindset is there, right? To make it happen. The motivation is there. The momentum is at your back because you're crystal clear, you're focused, you're moving. What do the Navy SEALs say? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. That's how you quantum leap. And that's how you quantum leap with less baggage, less clutter, less things that weigh you down, yet less energy leaks, less people who are moochers, in your business, less people who aren't pulling their weight as employees, right? Teammates, colleagues, partners, right? All of that is made clear, right? Because you are super streamlined and focused. Imagine, right? What a lean business. Um, I guess I definitely teach how to build a lean business because there is just no reason not to build it lean. What I do want to say though, as we're closing out, because I recognize the time, what I do want to say is that when we think about quantum leaping our business, this is your takeaway, okay? And I'll see if I have a little homework for you, or thought work for you, I should say. Uh, the only reason in our business that we would ever find ourselves maybe sputtering to get by, and like we feel like things are moving slowly and I'm not getting anywhere, is due to lack of clarity. Okay. So you not seeing it. There's something that you've got a gray area, right? It's a gray cloud. It's covering up the vision. You're not able to see through it clearly. And that cloud represents, doubt, denial, discouragement, disempowerment. It represents the things that you are maybe and not wanting to see through. You're holding it in front of you as if you're holding yourself hostage behind it because you're just not sure you want to see what's on the other side. Because again, the fear of like leaving people behind, or what's this going to require of me, or how much is this going to take of me away from my kids. And I'm trying to build a life here where I'm very present for them. Well, if there's a gray area and you're not starting your business because you think that, oh, it's just impossible, I have to wait till they're in college, then you're not giving yourself the opportunity to see through the gray area, to see past what blocks you. Um, and I invite you to see through all the way to the end, right? You on your deathbed, and then reverse engineer of all of that, all that manifested along the way to make it so that on your deathbed, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like, what a send off. Thank you, God. Let's go. Thank you, everyone. I love you all, right? Ciao, ciao, good night. And then there's so much peace. I do believe that in a big way, my dad had that kind of a send off. I mean, I look back on it, I'm filled with so much pride for him as a human and also like peace for him as a soul that moved on from this earth. And I don't know how it happened. It organically grew, him at hospice, cancer, dying day. The hospice nurses even said he's got 24 hours or less. And that was, so I left for LA and I had to come back to San Diego to see him. In order to see him, there was something I couldn't get out from, an obligation that I had. So I had to go back to LA. And I did that appointment let's say it was a Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it was a Wednesday. Had that appointment. And then the next morning, me and the kids were coming back down, right? Well, that Sunday, I believe, before I went to LA, I went up for the back for the appointment. So I was visiting my dad in the hospital, and the hospice was going to take him. The doctor told me he's got, I want to say, like less than a week. The hospice nurses, I believe, on the day he passed, I think the day before said he had about 24 hours. But I wasn't there. I think this was coming from my sister, but something somehow, some way, this is in my recollection of it. But maybe it wasn't 24 hours. Here's what I do remember crystal clear because I remember her face. I said, um, I said, how much time do you think he has? And this was on the day that he passed. This is me after arriving back to see him at his house in hospice, him in the bed, him not respond, him breathing, but with effort, right? That kind of like end of life breath. And I thought driving down, he was gone. And then my sister was sparing me the news. And so the whole way, I'm just like, oh, he's already gone. But I made a point to come back on this particular day after this appointment, like come back within less than a week because I wanted to be there and for his last days. And this is what I believed to be true because I knew he was ready to go. I also knew what the doctors were telling me that, it's less than a week. And so I was making sure I was back in time, right, to be there for his last breath. And so I'm driving down, I'm thinking, oh, he's already gone. But I get there, he's not gone. So he's still alive and still breathing, and we're all gathering his family, right? His immediate family. Then we call some aunts and uncles and they come. And then we call some friends and then we still have some time. And the hospice nurse said, like, from the start of the like noonish. I think she kind of threw out like this 12 p.m. idea, or she was coming at 12 and she was like said that he's going, right? Something around that. But we knew like it was within this day. And so all this, telephone happening and people showing up, and he was surrounded by love by the time he took his final breath, maybe an hour after the hospice nurse left uh, that day. So I believe it was around 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Ugh. Don't get my specific details because I have these little like landmark moments in my mind, and I remember thinking of what time it was and recognizing there was something kind of big at 12 noon, something kind of big at 1, something kind of big at 4 p.m. on the day that he passed. But he was surrounded by love. Um, he got to talk to everyone practically in his life, all his kids. He got to hear from us all and others, right? And I just thought that was so special. And so when he did take his final breath, I was there. I got to be there. I got to hear it. I got to hold his hand. And it's so, so special. And I'm like, okay, this is how I want to go out. And it felt peaceful, right? He breathed his last breath and was gone, right? And who knows, like, was he even in his body in all that time, or was he just hovering above and right, just enjoying the view? And probably maybe that, just enjoying, like he was already gone, but he was like, I'm still here. I get to stick around, right, God, till my body takes its last breath. Okay, so I'll stick around a little longer. I like this. Um, I like having lived a beautiful life and then also experiencing like um, just connecting right in this space of celebration for this life that you've given me. Like I just like to be here a little bit longer. Let me hover. And then yeah. But he had a lot of visitors throughout his time in the hospital too. So I just want you to imagine that and then kind of reverse engineer. And you'll notice that if you see it, it's immediately like raising goosebumps. It almost brings chills and takes your breath away with the magnitude of what you can create for yourself if you just give yourself the dedicated time. If you just say, I want to do this, this is where I want to focus, and you give yourself the chance to dream. And I think too often we are not dreaming, especially as busy moms, we're not dreaming. We're not slowing down enough to like, let me just close my eyes and like, how would I like this day to go? Do I want to see my kids fight each other? No, I want to actually see them enjoy each other. And I want to see that we all like laugh at the dinner table tonight over some funny joke. Or, my son tells me what he learned today when I ask him, and he's got something really fun and exciting to tell me. And, we're all just bonding at the dinner table. Right. I'm walking myself through. And even I'm seeing my clients, right? And we're all on Zoom and they're just uh aha moment after aha moment, right? And that's just lighting me up. And I'm like, oh yes, great. We're making progress together. And that feels good. And then, I see myself having a slow morning, right? A slow rise to my morning, a slow rise to my kids' morning. Everybody, we're all just starting our day on the right side of the bed, right? And you can walk yourself through that and watch just that bit of effort is going to manifest the like of that because you've set the energy and you've set the wheels in motion that everything that's going to attract to that like energy will be drawn. And as simple as that. And if we go back to what I first kind of suggested that we do, have this picture of your business in your mind's eye. You've got kind of the end of life, you're reverse engineering. And then today, right? Today, you've got a business that's maybe in just idea. It's in an idea state, or it's actually full-fledged and going and you've got people like knocking your door down, like, hello, can we work with you? And it feels right that prescient or imminent and right now, right? That emotional, right? It's here when you do that, right? And you're just thinking this up, and you know that if I can feel it and I feel that emotional around it and I'm that charged and my energy, my skin's vibrating with this thought, then you know that that reality exists, right? It can't not exist. That reality is actually something that you just manifested right now in your mind's eye. You just drew it up. And from there, people create movies from that, right? People are inspired to create manuscripts and books and, speeches for the stages. Like from those minutes that you spent drawing and designing, dreaming, you are actually creating the works that you will do in the world. Uh, so, yes, a reality like that exists. And then also maybe this reality that you maybe see right now in your observed 3D field and this physical plane, this house that you live in, the circumstances you're in and the car you drive, and it maybe is not like what you pictured in your mind eye. So that reality also exists. So the two realities exist. So can more realities exist? Absolutely, right? If you just dream them up, they can. And so it reminds me about when we think about quantum leaping, because it is such a metaphysical idea to quantum leap past all the fear, the delay, the confusion, just quantum leap all that, right? Just skip it all, just skip the learning curve. Go straight to having that wealthy, amazing, beautiful life that you want as both business owner and mom. It reminds me of this Schrodinger's cat experiment. So if you've heard of Schrodinger's cat, I want to share my screen. I'm going to show you some images because it helped. I had to like Google it because I didn't know what it was when I first saw it. And Schrodinger's cat is, I asked chat, I was like, just give me a little nutshell synopsis of what Schrodinger's cat is. Okay. So if you see on the screen, you can see that there's a cat inside this box, right? Well, inside the box with the cat, here, let me use this one a little bigger. Inside this box with the cat is some poison. So a vial of poison gas. And then you've got radioactive material. When this timer goes off, there's, this radioactive material, I guess, breaks and is deployed and it leaks, or if it leaks, I think even, then this cat will die, right? Because this radioactive material is poisonous. And so if inhaled, just the gas, the vapor of it, it's going to kill that cat. And then we put the top on the box. And so at any point, this cat will be dead or alive, right? We don't know until we open this box and observe the physical state of the cat. And so we don't know at any point whether this vial broke or whatever, the radioactive material, whatever, you can research exactly what the thought experiment was. But if this breaks, then it'll release the gas, and we don't know if it's released or not. We don't know if any of this has been set off this radioactive material. We don't know if this poison gas vial broke and the vapor is released. We don't know if this cat is dead or alive, okay? Until we lift the lid and we observe. Now, and if you, let's see what chat said. So, a cat is imagined sealed inside a box with a radioactive particle, a detector, and a poison mechanism. If the particle decays, the poison is released and the cat dies. If it doesn't, the cat lives. So the implication here is quantum mechanics says that the particle can exist in a superposition of decayed and not decayed states until measured, right? So theoretically, the cat would be both alive and dead until the box is opened and it's observed. What Schrödinger was highlighting, the strange idea that multiple possible states can coexist until measurement determines which outcome we observe. Now, the measurement here is what you envision, is what you decide to have, the decisions you make, the choices you make, the moves you make. All of the realities exist until you decide which one you want. And so you, by imagining, by envisioning, are deciding to have this one, right? And so what is that? What is that state? What are you going to imagine? And then you quantum leap because you're just moving in the direction with faith toward that end, toward that reality, toward that vision of that cat still alive in the box. And then you're slowly lifting the lid, right? You're slowly lifting the lid, and the universe is basically just gonna be lifting the lid to expose exactly what you want to see in there, a cat that is alive. But if you wobble and you go back and forth, you're like, I think it's dead. I think he's alive. I think it's dead. Then I don't know that that box will ever open, right? Because you're not sure. I can't open this box because you're not sure on what you want to see in here. Or you're not open to seeing that the cat is either dead or alive. You're saying, no, it is alive. You're choosing that it is alive, or you're choosing that it isn't alive. And so while you toggle this back and forth and play this game of like, I don't know which one, you haven't made a decision. You haven't been crystal clear with the universe, with God, the divine, that this is what I actually want to see. This is my energy now. So draw to me all that is like my energy. And so I thought that's really powerful. And it's a study in quantum physics, and it supports kind of this metaphysical idea of quantum leaping, right? And moving fast and smooth and uh, with, I don't know, is there another adjective there? Toward your ultimate vision, toward your wealthiest self, toward your legacy built and your kids thriving and because of what you are doing today. And so I could stop the share there. So then just think about that. Like when you are envisioning this, you're gonna choose the cat being a dead or alive. Choose one and then go, right? Go forward in faith that there's no other plan. There's only plan A. And God will make way. You'll have it. So I will give you this little bit. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any questions. Hi, Sige. If you have any questions, let me know. We're gonna wrap up, but I'll check for the questions. Uh, Thanks for coming on. And in Zoom, it's always so quiet in Zoom, you guys. But hey, if we have any questions after I've already, shut this down, then just know that you can comment. You can also email me. You can also, message me wherever on all the socials, and I will get back to you if you have a question. But I do want to leave you with a way to reach out to me if you want to work together. So in the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms, that's currently how I'm working with people. In this container, we've got some one-on-one time. We've got some real-time accountability. We've got so much in store for entrepreneur moms who want to start or scale their businesses. And if you are barely surviving, you're drowning, you're not sure what to do, you got this and that going, and then things are just piling up, and you're like, I've got to do it all, right? It all falls on me in order to build my business. Then let's definitely chat. And the way that you can do that is to book a call with me. But before I go, I want to give you a little bit of a thought experiment of your own. So when you think about your what you've got in this box for yourself, right? This amazing dream life, this lovely, delicious life. When you think about that, what's inside. So envision, I want you to think of your grandest self, your biggest dreams, your wildest imagination. Use it here to come up with all that you desire. And there's a little trick when it comes to uh, quantum theory and just mindset work and manifestation, because in manifestation it's very much built on mindset, right? What you believe. And so I want to show you how you can start to change your beliefs. And so it's with something, it's biblical, it's also spiritual. I am, the I am statement that we see, God say that I am that I am. I am, whatever you feel behind that is what you believe you are. So I am what? I am not what also manifests. Because then the universe is going to say, okay, I am not wealthy. Oh, you're not wealthy? Okay. Well, I'm going to show you all the ways you are not wealthy. I am wealthy. Okay, great. I'm going to show you all the ways you are wealthy, right? I'm going to give you so much to be grateful for. It's going to blow your mind, right? But then I am and I am not is running through your head on a constant basis. It's everyday thing. This is your self-talk. And we also want to like give our kids self-talk that tells them they are, right? They can, they're capable, they're important, they're loved, right? I am love. I am capable. I am smart, right? And so what are you telling yourself? Because all this is on repeat. And so start to look at that, just notice, observe. I am what? And if you're constantly saying, I'm not successful in my business, I'm not this, I'm not that, oh, I'm not a good mom, I'm failing my kids, uh, I'm not present with them, right? Then you're going to have the more experiences. The universe is going to give you more experiences that support that belief. And so, if you have any questions on that, definitely book a call with me. I'll show you how. Let me share my screen again. Sika, let me know if you're still on with me. Thanks for coming on. Thanks to everyone for coming on, by the way. It's just if you comment, then I can definitely see that you're talking to me. You're here. Okay, so especially on YouTube because I can't see who's all watching until you comment. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. So go to minimalistentrepreneur.club/MEM, and here's how you can learn more about the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms. And also, if you're on the fence, you're not sure, and you want to talk a little bit more about that, scroll down to any Apply Now button, and there's plenty of Apply Now buttons. But you are going to click this Apply Now button, and it's going to take you to the application. And here you're going to just answer all this. It's going to take you to the final page. The final page is going to be how you book a call. The final page right now, though, is I'm doing a little bit of screening. So we are making sure that the applications that come in are actual, not bots. We've got some AI, we got some hackers. And so that's the thing. That we do need to screen these and make sure that you are actually answering, you're giving a little bit of thought to your answer. You're letting me know that, hey, yeah, I do want to talk to you. It is important. I'm serious about this. I'm serious about my growth. And even if I just can chat with you for 25 minutes and it's complimentary, because it is on me, I'm opening my calendar for you to have a free call with me. Okay. So in this way that you can sit down with me, we can chat about your business, your plans, your goals. I can steer you in the right direction. I can maybe tell you immediately what's cluttering your view, what's in the way right now of your growth. I can set you up with that. And you can walk away with that level of clarity, that level of value, even if you don't move forward with the mastermind. So, but what this does is enable you to get the link from me emailed to you to book the call. And so that's what I mean about there's a little bit of screening happening because we don't want bots. Okay, so You'll hear back from me in email. You'll see the link to book a call, and then you'll book that complimentary call with me. And then, yeah, just consider that your clarity launch call. Will basically plan out kind of the next 90 days for you. And then, if you do want to hear more about the mastermind and see if that fits for you, if we're a fit, and if you're like, yeah, I can definitely start and scale my business and skyrocket everything, all my effort, by working with you, then I think we have a deal. We're gonna be two peas in a pod, and I can't wait to work with you and watch you grow. So that is what you'll do on this page. And you can even watch a brief little mastermind or masterclass that shows you a little bit more about the mastermind. And then three mistakes also keeping mom stuck in fear, guilt, or hustle. This is another, I guess I just want to give. I'm giving all the things, showing you how to be profitable in business and present in motherhood all at the same time. I want to give as much value as I can to anybody who is just watching, right? You're just looking right now. You're browsing. You're not ready to make the full commitment. Just know that there's something for everyone here. Okay. I'm excited to work with you though when you do make the decision. If you want to learn a little bit more about what's inside the mastermind, you'll see all that on this page as well. If you're a reader, you got it. All that. Okay, so let's go ahead and close us out. We're going to take a big breath in, big breath out. Again, big breath in, big breath out. And remember, I am. And sometimes when you don't have anything else to say, just stop there. I am. Breathe that in. That's light. That's light. That's a lean business. That is a light, lean life. All right. See you next time. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, chat, DM, all the things. And I'll see you in the next masterclass. Peace.